I just got done watching the gameplay footage for Agony, and the first thing that came to mind was, this is probably one of the most evil, demonic, and metal as fuck games that I've seen in a long ass time. And I'm talking metal as fuck to the point that we could go and toss on some Morbid Angel, maybe some DSI, Vital Remains, Acheron, Sathanos, anything like that. Have this shit as the soundtrack with it, and it would go hand in hand. Blast beats and all that are just ushering up demonic hordes straight from the mouth of hell itself. And speaking of which, that's where you're at. You are a lost soul with no memory of your past, how the hell you got there, why you're there, but you just know one thing: you want to get out. A survival horror game where you're trying to go and navigate through hell? I'm all fucking for that. And this isn't one of those things kind of like Doom where you're just running around and shooting and killing every single thing that's within your path. No, you have to take control of anything and everything that is lumbering around. From low-level demons and devils and shit that you could stumble across, to any of the other poor saps that you see that are in agonizing amounts of pain, just wanting to be relinquished from the prison that they're stuck in for all of eternity. And just the opening scene, all the embers that are flying around and shit, and hearing the sound of bone as the main character walked around. I mean, the main protagonist is stepping over skeletal remains with people that are trying to reach up, and you know that poor motherfucker just wants to get out but can't. You're stuck there. Sorry about that. In prison for all of eternity. Sucks to be you. But you have a chance to be able to get the fuck out of there. I mean, the first thing that you get to see is a statue of Baphomet. Big ass fucking titties and all, and you get to walk your ass through this small, really enclosed tunnel that looks like a bunch of jaws and teeth. And if anybody has a problem with like being in confined spaces or shit like that, you will hate going through that. But as you're walking through, they just start closing in more and more on you. And I was just like, this is fucked up. I mean, you're basically up to your man tits in blood and gore. Everywhere that you look, it's death. Pure and simple, it is death. Everywhere and anywhere around you. The setting itself does look like it's hell. I mean, that was one of the things that I had seen, was just like, everything looked like a metal cover. I'm not even fucking joking. Like, everything, it's all black and red. I mean, everything is drenched in crimson, and it makes tons of sense. The lighting... look, I'm one of those people, I love aesthetics, I can really appreciate art design. This shit is beautiful. I mean, hauntingly beautiful. The lighting, for example, there's a point where the main character, he takes his torch that he has with him, that he's trying to go and find his way around, and he just tosses it. Javelin throws that bitch down a hallway, and the way that it lights up everything, I was just like, holy fuck. And it's hard to impress a person nowadays with graphics, because, I mean, everything looks insanely nice and really fucking impressive. I mean, that's the truth. When you have engines like the Unreal Engine, you can make everything look nice. But this shit it done everything right. You know, and then the actual designs of the monsters themselves. There was that one stacked as fuck demon that came out that everybody was talking about this shit. Big old fucking fun bags and a fucking ass that you could bounce quarters off of just comes out. And it's lured over to the light. And the main character is like huddled down, hoping to fucking God, lots of irony here, that you do not get caught. And a demon stays around the little flame for a bit, and then just walks right the fuck off. And this is a far cry from Doom. I mean, seriously. Like, I played the shit out of Doom. Great as fuck, by the way. If you haven't played it, you really should. But Doom brought back the whole old school appeal of going around just shooting the ever-loving shit out of things like the old school ones, not like Doom 3, which I still like Doom 3. Completely different styles games, but still. And this one is slow-paced and methodical. You know, seeing the character have to walk around and actually be in danger, and the only way that you can save yourself is that you have to either hide, run the fuck away, or take possession of something else to save your sorry ass before you get skinned and you end up just looking like something out of fucking Hellraiser 2 Hellbound. But all this shit, I was just like, this is so fucking badass. Like, it really is. There's one point where there's like all these like particle effects and really pretty lights. It's like purple and blue and shit, and it stood out from everything else that was around. And you go over, and it's so fucking pretty. And it was weird because this looked like a tranquil setting in the middle of something that was just pure unbridled evil. And seeing it, it stood out. You know, all these fucking walls of bones that you're walking past, all these souls that are reaching out and shit. And that was the thing that I thought was cool as fuck, was there were certain areas, and do you remember in Devil May Cry, like, there's those fucking, when the doors would lock down, it would have that red handle come out? These look like ones that are just stuck. Like, somebody got shoved inside of there, and that's the way that they get to remain for forever. Till the end of time. And I was just like, dude, holy shit, that sucks so fucking bad. But seeing it, it just looked so fucking cool to me. I was just like, that's badass. Like, everything around you was badass as shit. I know that there's another point where you walk into this one room and it looks like a fall to absolutely nowhere. Like, the ground will fall for all of eternity, for infinite. And seeing it, again, it stood out because it's like, it's yellow and it just looks like the sky. As if, like, hell was here and you were just gonna fall out of it. And there was nowhere to land. I was like, dude, that's so fucking neat looking. And, you know, the main character ends up picking up, like, this little artifact and shit, some Indiana Jones style shit. But I was just like, this is so fucking badass. You know, and it makes me kind of curious about this whole Red Goddess thing. I'm kind of wondering how much lore they're going to implement into some shit like this. You know, are they going to take things from all religious corners of the earth and put them inside of this? It would make a lot of sense just considering what the hell they're going on about. But it was just, it looks so fucking... You already know how much I like survival horror games. But seeing some shit like this, you know, having something that takes place in hell isn't all that unique. In a survival horror game where, you know, everything can go and kill you and you don't have a bunch of weapons to fight back, again, not all that unique, but the combination of this and the way that they're pulling it off, I mean, you have some of the people that worked on The Witcher 3 working on this shit. And I was just like, okay, that right there alone sold me on how much quality would be behind it. I mean, hell, just looking at it was enough for me to be like, oh yeah, no, this shit's going to be impressive and really fucking amazing. Hell, there's, speaking of some of the monsters I was talking about before, there's this one winged creature that flew overhead, and that setting was completely different from all the other shit, and it looks like hell isn't going to just be like, you know, oh, black and red and everything's going to look like this. That was just one area. Another one looked like a really fucked up, maybe a forest type setting. I couldn't really tell for a long ass time, but just seeing this winged creature like fly overhead was just like, dude, that is so fucking awesome. Do you have to fight that shit at some point? Or I just enjoy the concept and idea of taking control of it. But there's, and some of it actually reminds me of some of the real crazy ass shit that you would see in Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street. Just like all the fucking lost souls coming out of Freddy's chest and shit. It was just like, that's pretty awesome. Like, there's one point where it looks like you're just flying at the speed of light, and it's just this long, it looks like a Twizzlers pull and peel, but it's just got all these bodies racked in pain that are attached to it, that are just reaching out to you, and you're just flying all around them, all Ace Combat style and shit, like, nope, sorry, not dealing with this shit at all. But I'm just, everything looked so fucking badass. Like, Hype Train, off the fucking rails. This shit is Xbox One, PS4, PC, I mean, you need to check this shit out. It looks so fucking cool. I had a bunch of people link this to me. I was just like, oh, okay, some stuff from Gamescom. I'll definitely check this out. And I clicked on it, I was like, Agony, didn't hear anything about it. And watched it. I've watched this trailer like fucking 3-4 times, some shit like that. I've shown it to my friends. They were like, yeah, we need to go and get this shit. I'm like, fuck you! And it also helps rocking the Asheron shirt. I thought that it would make sense to go and wear an Asheron shirt while going and talking about some stuff like this, because, I mean, yeah, you know, why not? Why not? But, considering, again, I love Diablo, I love Doom, those games take place in hell, why not this? It's pretty fucking badass looking, and Agony looks like it's going to be fun as fuck. I know that survival horror isn't everybody's bag, but, you know, if it is, this might be worth looking into. And you'll like, AlphaOmegaSin, that's totally his kind of game. It is metal as fuck. Like, I've talked about games that I consider like the most metal fucking games you'll ever play. I'm gonna toss Agony into this bag well before I even need to play it, just because, I mean, look what it's based off of, look at the way that it looks, it is awesome as shit. So, yeah, definitely need to. Anyway, this is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck off!